Well, I'm not usually in the mezzanine section of an indoor swimming pool when I go live and when I work. But today we're just going to have to deal with that because I couldn't help myself. I'm excited. I'm freaking fired up. There's football on the tube tomorrow night, football that matters. And there's a lot of things, a lot of work, and a lot of the guessing games, a lot of the speculation. I hope that the acoustics in here are okay. I know there's some background noise, but I'll try to project myself a little bit. Just bear with me. This will be a quick one. I'm excited to see if that physicality that Brian Schottenheimer just seemed to have at the forefront of his mind anytime he spoke all off season long, if that manifests itself. Right? Did you hear his press conference yesterday when he discussed, in his opinion, one of the easiest, the quickest, and best measures of a truly physical football team is watching what the smallest players on the team, the skill position guys do. That is the quickest, truest, fastest way to know how physical your football team is. So I'm excited to see Turpin. If he comes across the formation and cracks somebody, or if he's chipping somebody on his way out, those are not traditional asks for a player of his stature. But I'm excited to see if they do some of those things. I'm excited to see him commit himself as a blocker. Just everything he's got, like a missile, right into somebody, just for the brotherhood, because that's the bar. That is the expectation. That is what is being demanded of you now, right? CeeDee Lamb digging a safety out of the box. George Pickens burying somebody on the edge. I'm excited to see those guys have a chance to do that. I have written down here. I'm excited to see moreover on Schotty's press conference, the things that he's saying, the thing that he's continued to tease, the thing that which plays into what I've been emphasizing so much. And I apologize if it's been too much, but I just really believe that strongly in it, which is withholding some things, the element of surprise that the Cowboys have in their favor because nobody knows who Brian Schottenheimer is. I'm excited to see if that comes to fruition, if that manifests itself in the form of, Cowboys getting off to a quick start, even despite Dak not playing meaningful football in 10 months. Somebody made a great point, and it kind of gave me a little bit of rest, I guess. He said Dak came back after snapping his ankle in 2021, first game against the Bucs, and he goes out there and shreds those guys. So that was a good perspective, I think. I'd be curious. I didn't go back and check. I don't remember if Dak played any in the preseason. That matters to me. But still, the point was well taken. I'm excited to see Schottenheimer have a chance to also really apply what he's been saying and what, to me, also matters so much, which is running past marriage. He said it again. The amount of times I wish I had $1 for the amount of times that he's touched on the importance of marrying the run to your pass, and also the importance of physicality. I mean, you go back, just look at every article I wrote. I pretty much documented every single one of them. But I'm excited to see that truly manifest. Right? And a lot of people haven't really discussed this either, and it's partially my fault. I don't really think I've spent enough time thinking about it, but it just occurred to me this morning, writing some of these notes down, what I'm excited to see. Brian Schottenheimer really is a stark difference from Mike McCarthy in quite a few different ways. One of which is the intensity of their practices, how many rest days guys are getting. But then also, too, what I'm getting at is, do you know why Brian Schottenheimer is saying those things? It's because he sat back behind the scenes and had to bite his tongue. You know why I know that he bit his tongue? Because Jerry Jones said that he did. He said when he hired Brian Schottenheimer that he watched him bite his tongue, which Jerry didn't really watch Brian Schottenheimer bite his tongue. He didn't catch that. He didn't pay attention to that. I guarantee you, he didn't literally mean he watched it, like anticipating when Brian was going to say something and challenge Mike McCarthy. No, he didn't see that. But the reason why he said it is because I guarantee you Brian Schottenheimer told him that he had to bite his tongue and proposed to Jerry the plan of how he was going to change things around here. And that plan is a stark difference from the previous one. That's why Jerry was so sold on it. Having a plan to run the football, it sounds very generic and cliche, if you will, but it's real for this Cowboys team. I'm excited to see teams not be able to tell when the Cowboys are going to run the football and when they're going to pass it based on what they're doing before the ball is snapped. The Cowboys would motion to pass just a little bit. They would misdirect to pass just a little bit, but there was almost none of that in the running game. Any sort of pre-snap activity, the defense could key in on, hey, pass here. Those types of things. But then on top of that, a lot of their shortcomings, not just what we just talked about right there, but parlaying that point with gun run, which in a lot of ways eliminates one half of the direction that you can run the football, even if the other team knows that you're about to try and run it. You've condensed the field. You can't force the second level or the third level to hesitate with their run fits from the gun unless you also possess a quarterback who's willing and able to prove that he can pull it and make you pay, which Dak didn't. Quarterback improv is important, and I believe that's why we saw Dak lose a little bit of weight this offseason. He wants to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more sly on his feet, a little bit more mobile to pick up those yards whenever teams are on third down and they want to, they got their back turned to the quarterback because they're in man coverage, sending a blitz that's adequately dialed or predicted and picked up. Dak can step up to the pocket quickly and pick up 5 to 7 yards to get the chains moving. Right? Schotty and Mike are polar opposite in quite a few different regards. None more important than the run and pass marriage, which, once again, we just heard Brian Schottenheimer re-emphasize at the podium this week. I'm excited to see George Pickens have a chance to go out there and prove the entire city of Pittsburgh wrong. I'm excited to see Kaiir Elam have a chance to go out there and prove his former position coach in Buffalo wrong about his play. George Pickens about his character. The ones that seemingly cease to exist here. Imagine that. A guy who just loves football. A guy who wants to compete and to have a competent quarterback throwing him the football. Amazing what solving that can do for a guy who truly loves football. We'll see. I'm excited to see if our predictions as far as the perfect marriage, the triple threat, are actually real. And if the numbers bear out, if the proof is in the pudding that the numbers bear out, that George Pickens is the best sideline occupying, high flying, go get 'em guy. And Dak Prescott is also the best at throwing it to those spots, to the edge, complimenting CeeDee Lamb over the middle. I'm excited to see if Clayton Adams' brand new rushing identity, misdirection, pin pull, power, counter, a much more elaborate run system that marries to the pass, but that also is not so dependent on inside zone. Just basically challenging two gaps. No eye candy, no forcing hesitation, eliminating all the guesswork. Just, hey, play sound, responsible, football, which teams at this level do. You don't see a ton of just blown assignments in the National Football League. Not when you are not adding motion pre-snap, misdirection at or after the snap, and pulling guards all in the process, or tackles, or tight ends, split zone, right? Got a H-back coming across the formation, newly extended Hunter Lipke. Congratulations to him. I'm excited to see if that's just pacifying the people after trading Micah Parsons, or if that's truly real and they truly have a plan for this guy. I know this coaching staff has 3 offensive line masterminds. No disrespect. Well, it's 4 if you count Duke Manyweather. I didn't want to disrespect his name. That's his brand. But 3 guys who have a really good idea of how to run the football. 2 of them that are offensive line coaches. It's a stark difference from Mike McCarthy, once again, polar opposites, hiring his friends to come in and help him coach last year. I'm excited to see if Brian Schottenheimer identified in Clayton Adams and Connor Riley from afar. No real previous relationship outside of just him studying their game and their philosophy and their scheme and their success, as identifying those 2 men as the most qualified candidates for the job to help him come in and revamp this offensive line or this run scheme, to give it more colors, much less vanilla, right? Imagine that. I'm excited for physicality to manifest itself. I'm excited for Kenny Clark, the first real run-stopping one technique the Cowboys have had in God knows how long. Maybe the last one since David Irving. That's actually in their prime and a difference maker inside on like a truly difference-making run stopper. Osa is a difference maker, but in some ways, I hope that he proves me wrong, and I think that he might. He's been a little bit less dominant in the running department than he has in the passing department. More of a penetrating, hey, go get the quarterback type of guy. Still very powerful. Still plays with great leverage. You don't make it to this far to a $20+ million player if you aren't all those things. If you're not a pro, he's a pro. But I'm excited to see what he can learn from the 10-year pro Kenny Clark, who has a master's degree in run stop. Played hurt last year, don't forget that. But there's a reason why I said that whenever that trade was announced, at the very least, if nothing else, I'm excited that the Cowboys have gotten better. It was my initial reaction the day that it happened last Thursday when Micah got traded. I'm excited to see the Cowboys close the gap just a little bit and be tougher on the interior, more physical on the interior, more run stop first on the interior. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see Jack Sanborn and Reddy Stewart prove Matt Eberflus right on sticking his neck out there for guys that he identified as instinctual football players who can be plug and play stopgaps at a position of need. I'm excited to see Kenneth Murray transform into the first round pedigree that he was drafted out of Oklahoma with. A rare physical player, man. Physical tools off the charts. Gets in trouble a little bit in coverage. Gets in trouble if he's asked to wear the green dot and diagnose. When he's weak side backer, when he's downhill player, when he's, hey, go hunt football guy, like we saw DeMar Overshown, do you think there's a connection there? You think Matt Eberflus sees a little bit of something in Kenneth Murray that he saw when he watched the film and turned on the tape with DeMar Overshown and said, I know another guy who profiles similar to this. Let's bring him in here too just to see if he can fill his shoes while he's gone, while he's rehabbing, while he's on his way back. I'm excited to see Kenneth Murray. I'm excited to see Damone Clark prove me dumb, wrong. Nice try, dude. Go back, armchair GM, sit down and shut up. I got this. I'm the athlete. I'm the pro here. I'm the football player. I'm the guy that wore number 18 at LSU because I earned it, because of my character and my ability. That's me, Damone Clark. Before my spine had other plans, now I trust my body again. Oh, yeah, and there's the linebacker mastermind, Matt Eberflus. That's his specialty. I'm excited to see Damone Clark prove me wrong. I wrote about him, cut him. Save $3.3 million, get him out of here. Let's go spend it somewhere else. I'm excited to see Damone Clark prove me wrong. I'm excited to see Tyler Guyton silence his own fan base. Dak Prescott, same story. But Tyler Guyton maturing into a professional. I talked about the look in his eye when he had that conversation, when he was asked that question in that interview and had that conversation with that reporter. Did not blink, did not hesitate, did not stutter. Sports psychology, sports below the surface. That's what you get here with me, the Lando Show. That's what I love so much. That's why I'm freaking fired up, yelling at the camera. I apologize if I'm coming off that strong. If you're the first-time listener, man, I said you ain't going to usually find me up in the mezzanine section, I think that's what it's called, of an indoor pool. But I'm excited. So that's why I'm here. I'm excited to see Javonte Williams prove that you can overcome injury, multiples of them, but that you could also revitalize a rushing attack that's been dead, because the how you run the football is way more important than the who is actually running it. I'm excited to see that. Once again, behind Clayton Adams and Connor Riley. Now I'm excited to go get this workout in, sweat a little bit. Thank you guys so much for listening. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. I hope that the audio was okay. I promise you I'm trying the best that I can. This is the most quiet spot that I could find. Had my gym dad here, Brian Osborne, help me out to find this spot, and hopefully the acoustics were okay. All right, but needless to say, remember that prayer changes things. The war is already won. And thank God the football is back.